Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, here we go. Y'all have some questions about the Johnny Depp case and the Sun. So, the newspaper in the UK that he has filed a lawsuit against because they called him a wife beater. He also has an open case per se, a pending trial, I guess is the better way to put it, coming up in, I believe, August. A defamation lawsuit where he is suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for $50 million for defamation from an article that she published. But this case, well, first of all, I've already done a video on that, so if you're interested in that, go check out my previous videos. That one, a lot of people thought that I was choosing sides, which I wasn't. I was just reading the cards as they stand, and that those pretty much said that Johnny Depp might have a harder time than what most people hope being able to successfully win that defamation case in August. That doesn't mean he's not going to win the defamation case in August. It means he will have a harder time than what some people expected being able to win that for some reasons that we saw in that video. This video, we're talking about his case, his lawsuit pending trial that's going to be coming up here soon with involving the Sun in the UK, that newspaper. So it is right now March 10th, 2020. And I believe that is supposed to take place. That trial is like a trial that spans more than one day at the end of March. I want to say beginning on March 23rd or 24th, something like that. And we're going to take a look at how that will go. So I didn't get a chance to say that I am a licensed mental health counselor as well as a spiritual intuitive. And in these videos, we take a look at the tea using the tarot. And these videos are always meant to be helpful, not hateful. And if you're down with that, then join the family here. We'd love to have you. So let me go ahead and put the cards on the screen. Get prepared for this. I wonder what the cards are going to say this time, because this time I feel like it's much more serious. The other article that he's doing a defamation case on, they technically didn't make any mention of his name and technically didn't have any formal allegations against him in a literal aspect in that article. That one was more of people being able to read between the lines and go ahead and deduce what Amber Heard meant and who she was referring to. And that's where that is coming from. So that might be a little bit tougher to work with from a legal standpoint. That's probably why the card said that he would have a harder time with that trial, being able to succeed in a defamation case. Of course, hopefully justice prevails, whatever that is. But that's just what the card said for that. But for this, they outright said wife beater and were referring to Johnny Depp. So it's much more clear cut there. And people are strongly opinionated about it. We have a Justice for Johnny Depp hashtag going on across social media. So it's a big deal. And I want to know what y'all think. Especially any of y'all who have any familiarity with law and who have any familiarity with domestic violence or circles of violence, things like that. I probably should not say these words here on this video. about these allegations. I'm interested to know what you think about all of it. Legal issues are weird. Legal issues are tough. Legal issues suck to have to go through. Anybody been through a lawsuit case before? I have, and I won. I'm raising my hand. I have, and I won. And they're not as easy or straightforward as people would like to think. So I think that that's why that reading came out the way it did when I did it. And I'm interested in knowing what that'll do, what that'll be. But that reading I did back in February, over a month ago, and the case or the trial is far away from that time, so we'll see if anything changes between the time I did the reading and the trial, but I don't know. I just wonder what y'all think. Okay, so with this one, we're looking into Johnny Depp and his upcoming trial in 2 weeks, basically, against the Sun for the things that they said, calling him a wife beater. I just basically want to know, how's that going to go for him? How's that going to go for him? So let's look into the cards to see how's that going to go for Johnny Depp. Get whatever information we can. Uh-oh. Well, that's an interesting way to start this. How's this going to go for Johnny Depp? Okay. Okay. This is a strange way to start it out, but we're going to go with what the cards are saying. Okay. So as we're getting started, what this is saying is, this is, right here is representing Johnny Depp. I wish all this wasn't so sideways. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? So, this card, the Emperor in reverse, is representing Johnny Depp. And so it's saying that here we have Johnny Depp in somewhat of a disadvantaged position. Against, here we have a woman, a female energy, in an upright position. I know this is the court case against the Sun. We're not talking about the court case against Amber Heard specifically, but that's coming up here to set the scene. These cards, these preliminary cards, are just wanting to go ahead and set the scene and say, you know, this is the general type of discussion that's going on right now. This is the topic at hand. So it's recognizing that this is the topic. And with the World card being in reverse, that means this isn't over. It hasn't ended. And so this is confirming for us what we already know, that here we have a disadvantaged Johnny Depp, and here we have a woman who is slightly more on top in this situation, in terms of, you know, she's the one that's been kind of calling the shots and saying how things go for a while, so she's had the upper hand for a while, and this is something that's continuing through them. As we're moving on, this is a card that's talking about, there's been a lot of reflecting, a lot of timeouts that go deep, like people having to really take time to look at what's going on, what do we want to do, what kind of choices do I need to make in my life that's for my alignment, do I really want to move forward in this, or is this something that I'd rather hang back and not put my time and energy into, because with the Fool in reverse, this is something really serious. This is something very serious. And with the Four of Cups in reverse, this is something that there's been basically decisions that need to be made, and the universe in a way is kind of holding off people from being able to make decisions. And what that could be alluding to are the delays that have happened. For example, the first trial, the original trial, the defamation case that's between Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, was meant to happen in February, but it got postponed until August. So it's saying that there are things that are causing delays and hang-ups in this situation overall between the two of them. So again, I'm going to kind of reframe in my mind and ask the cards if they can kind of get more specific as it relates to his upcoming trial in the next 2 weeks with the Sun. Let's see. Okay. Well, that's a strong card right there. That is also a strong card right there. Okay. These are very strong cards, actually. Huh. Okay. I'm going to need clarification on this one. Okay. So, here's the good with the bad here. The good news is this card is saying what you want to happen, what you wish to happen, what you hope for to happen will come true. This is a good card in that aspect. This card is saying that basically an agreement or a contractual thing, a legal thing, any kind of thing that you can think of as being a partnership, a unity, a two-way street on something, that is a positive thing going to go well for Johnny Depp. So again, second positive. Third positive in a row is this Ten of Pentacles upright, which is talking about money and specifically getting more of it. So if this lawsuit that he has filed against the Sun has a payout for him winning, then it's quite possible that he will win and get this payout. So these are three very positive cards in terms of outcomes with the upcoming trial in the next few weeks. Where things get weird, the Hangman in reverse talks about delays, the Hermit upright talks about isolation, and the Seven of Swords upright talks about somebody playing dirty, somebody taking low blows and playing dirty and being sneaky and deceptive, which is not the best card to see here. So I want to pull some clarifiers. I want to pull a clarifier on each one of these and this, actually. Okay. Okay. Yep. What we just said. That's funny. Alright, come on now. Don't all flip out at once. Well, was it this? Alright. Come on, give me an upright or a reversal here. Alright, we're going to go upright with this. Okay, so with the whole something that I want is coming true, that's related to something that he permanently walked away from. So what I'm thinking of this is the divorce and being physically and emotionally separate from the entanglements with Amber. So this is kind of talking about him coming back into his own empowerment since being able to separate himself from Amber. With the Lover's card upright, talking about some kind of an agreement, whether it's a business agreement, some kind of contractual agreement, some sort of accord like that. The Chariot card is upright, which talks about a lot of courage and a lot of fast movement. So that's another good thing, that this could be, in terms of this case, this could be a fairly straightforward, swift case with forward movement, where Johnny Depp feels relatively fearless about this one. It seems that he feels pretty confident going into this particular case, more so than the other case that is coming up, the trial that's coming up in August. He feels more confident about this one than he does about the other one. And then why I laughed with this card is because remember I said this is money and upright, meaning getting more of it. This card with the Two of Pentacles is talking about exchanging of hands. Let me do a flip real quick. Oh, we're getting it in reverse though. So this card is talking about an exchanging of hands. What's interesting is that this is in reverse, but this is upright. So either money is going to exchange hands and he's going to get some extra money from this, or something is going to happen and it's not going to go quite that way, that he's still going to be financially set and stable and fine, but perhaps not in the way that he completely intended or planned. That's possible. Or it's possible that say he doesn't get awarded as much as he wanted to get awarded, or say he does get awarded as much as he wanted to get awarded, but they do some weird shifty stuff that takes him a little bit to get his money. You know, there's something weird about the whole exchanging hands, you know, exchanging money from one hand to another, where things don't go completely smoothly or the way that they necessarily should or could go. I think the outcome would be the same, that he would get what he wants, but I think something weird and shifty is going to happen with it. That's something we may or may not know about. I don't know. The card that I pulled on top of the Seven of Swords about somebody being sneaky, here we get an emotional woman, and here's what's funny. It's the Queen of Cups. The Cups suit is an emotional suit, and the Cups suit is a water suit. Water. So, woman, water, like Aquaman, you know, that kind of thing. And I think it shows who's being sneaky and deceptive and shysty here. I think that seems to be pretty obvious who that's referring to. So I'll just leave that there. So let me go ahead and move forward with pulling a few more cards. Woo! Okay. Alright, these are strong cards, I'm telling you. Come on now. Can we just go one at a time, please? Okay. So here we have the King of Wands upright. So here we have Johnny Depp in a strong position. The High Priestess upright is talking about integrity, honesty, fairness, trustworthiness, dependability, things of that sort. So he's associated with that. With the Six of Cups in reverse, let me go ahead and pull some of these extra cards to see where that's going. Woo. Okay. Yeah. So with the Six of Cups in reverse, that means that someone from his past will feel like they're not getting out of this what it was that they wanted to get out of this. The Devil card comes next, so it's somebody who is not well-intentioned, somebody that is a bit extreme, maybe a bit obsessed. This also, however, can be a bit of a double-sided thing, because sometimes the Devil card speaks about excess with substances. So if there is anything in terms of excess substance abuse, it could get exposed here in a way that perhaps throws a monkey wrench in things. So there's something with all of this that has to do with substance use. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but there's something with this that does. In terms of a messenger bringing a message about what's going on, the Tower card in reverse is talking about, you know, internally somebody's world crumbling down and not being, you know, things are falling apart. This isn't what I wanted. This isn't how I thought it would go. Let me pull a clarifier on, oh my gosh, on who that's referring to. And we get the Page of Cups, so somebody who is young and somewhat immature. Let's pull another clarifier. Okay, yeah, that's the home and family card. So someone young and immature, yeah, someone young and immature associated with home and family, because here you see the little family, they are going to have a moment of kind of panic and anger and upset and just everything going wrong in their minds over this. So that's interesting. I do want to pull another card on the devil real quick as well. So there's somebody who is being associated with the devil card right now. And again, I don't know that I said this, but everything we're doing is just cards. This is entertainment. Everything I'm talking about is completely alleged. This is a woman who feels like she's a victim when she's not actually as victimized as she believes that she is. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's not a victim in any way, shape, or form. That just means it's not to the extent that she feels within herself, and so she's acting as if she's more victimized than she is. I think she has more power than she realizes, and she has more accountability than she realizes. So, double-edged sword on that, once again. Alright, let me put these over here on top of their cards. I'm going to just pull a little extra on this, and then we'll get into something else. Yep, here we go again. Yep, so here we go again, kind of repeating some of the things that we've seen before. I see attorneys, I see people having a hard time trying to plan, and I do see that, and I'm going to say this is Amber, I do see that Amber has some things up her sleeve that we may not know about. She has some power plays up her sleeve that can make things a little bit easier on her than what social media may even know and understand. This card came up in the previous reading that I did with them about their August trial coming up, and this came up saying she has more up her sleeve than what we know. So that's one of the reasons why that previous case was going to be more difficult for him to win than he hoped, and that maybe some other people hoped, just because there's going to be more evidence that she has up her sleeve than what social media is already aware of. It's not as cut and dry as what everyone is saying and what people hope. So, all right. Come on now. Yeah, so here we go again. More with the lawyers, more with struggling over evidence. So, we're getting repeats here. This is what happens. We get repeats. I'm only going to pull a few more of these. I keep saying that. All right, is this upright or reverse? Ooh, upright. This is talking about someone has secrets, and those secrets are well hidden. Those secrets are well hidden in a way that is hard to prove one way or the other. So someone has some kind of secrets that are easy to keep hidden and hard to prove one way or the other. Judgment card meaning that there's going to be a public outcry about what's fair and not fair. Seven of Cups upright, talking about the wool is getting pulled off of our eyes for us to be able to see things the way that they really are. The Death card means an ending. An ending, something being over. Something being over and done with and let go. A clear ending. And in a way that's positive sometimes. By positive, I mean things that need to end, that do end. So that's positive. It doesn't mean it's always a pretty process or it feels good. But things that need to end do end. So that's good. It's interesting, out of all those cards I've pulled and have this many left over, that I have not yet pulled the Justice card. The Justice card is usually what tells me which way a case is most likely to go. So as we were asking about Johnny Depp and the Son, for his trial coming up in 2 weeks, I have not yet pulled the Justice card. That usually is what tells us one way or another how the trial is most likely to swing. We've gotten a lot of context, which has been very helpful and illuminating, but haven't gotten that Justice card. I mean, is it not even close? Okay, let me do a swing. Go sideways. Oh, come on. See? It's talking about fairness. That's why. See? It keeps going sideways or upside down. So this is somebody trying to win at all costs. And when we have the Justice card in reverse, I gotta be honest. When we have the Justice card in reverse, that means that the justice system does not always prevail into what's just. That can also mean someone losing something. So, that's what's interesting here. This is the card that came up, the Justice card in reverse, in my last reading when I did a reading on the trial coming up, the defamation suit coming up in August. And I got the Justice card in reverse, and that's why I said it was going to be a harder time than Johnny Depp realized to be able to win that defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard this coming fall. And here we have it again. So the thing here to keep in mind is what we see on social media and what we're presented with is not everything. And we think we know the case and we think we can try the case right here and right now based on what we know, but there's so much more that we don't know. We've already seen from over here that Amber has more up her sleeve than we realize, and we've seen from down here that someone that she has herself, her connections, her lawyers and stuff that are willing to, frame things in the way that she wants them framed, that maybe are not always the most honest and with integrity. That's a situation that we have to deal with. With the Justice card being in reverse, that means things don't always happen that are completely just and fair. So this could be referring to losing a trial, or it could be referring to something not going completely fair. Interestingly enough, because we don't know everything involved, it may be a distinct possibility from the things that we've seen and the hidden secrets, because remember, the moon upright is hidden secrets, and the Seven of Cups is a fantasy, and us trying to pull the wool over from our eyes so that we won't be just stuck seeing the fantasy. So what we have to realize, y'all, is this may not be as cut and dry as what we were thinking and what we as social media were hoping. And there may be more fault on both sides than what we care to admit. That's what happened in my first reading on this, was that there's more fault on both sides than what we care to admit. Because at first, last year or the year before, we were getting pitched nothing but Amber Heard is such an innocent victim. Oh, poor thing. Johnny Depp is trash. And then the script flipped. And all of a sudden the narrative is, justice for Johnny Depp. Amber Heard, you monster. And those are two really big extremes. And it could be that the truth actually lies somewhere in the middle, whether the truth lies somewhere in the middle closer to Amber Heard or somewhere in the middle closer to Johnny Depp. The truth actually lies somewhere more in the middle, and there's more than what we realize, and these things are not so cut and dry. So I think that we're going to be finding out some more information. Things are going to get more interesting. We don't know what it is that she has up her sleeve. I'm not so sure if the public will know. I don't know how much trials like this are made public, like what actually goes on within the trial. I don't know if it's publicized or not, so we may not be privy to that. But there's interesting stuff going on. Let me go ahead and regroup these and pull one more time. Y'all, there's something going on with this. I know this video's been long, but dang. Something's going on that we don't know. And more is going to come out about it. That card, as I was shuffling, came out. So here we go again. Juggling act. You know? Is it this? Is it that? We're juggling. This is going into what we were talking about. This is exactly what we were talking about. Is it this? Is it that? You know, we're trying to keep all the balls in the air before they fall down. The hell's going on? Conflict and fighting. Conflict and fighting. More to come. Things aren't ending when they need to be ending. We have something upcoming here in a couple weeks, something coming up again in August. The Sun card, meaning ultimately everything's going to be okay. Ultimately, they will. But that doesn't mean we don't have this crap here first. Here we go again with the immature person. I'm telling you, y'all, this is not as cut and dry as what we were hoping it would be. And here we get these same cards. Yep, we're getting a lot of repeats. We're just getting repeats. So I don't know, y'all. There's more information to come that we don't even know about yet. It's going to be real interesting. The last reading said things were going to be difficult and wishy-washy, and that a lot goes into this. And this kind of said the same thing. So we see things. I saw things in these cards with him, you know, getting what he wants ultimately, and, you know, having his money ultimately, things going well for him ultimately. But I also saw people being sneaky, people having things up their sleeve that they're able to pull and put in there. The Justice card was in reverse, suggesting that things are not super easy to pull off and just get a win like that. That he would have to go through some dirty dealings to get a win. In some ways, it's interesting, y'all. Both of these trials are very convoluted, actually. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing both of these trials are very convoluted, and both of these trials are very connected. I think that the outcome of this trial will have some sort of an impact and or influence on the outcome of the August trial. And all I can say is I hope for justice. If he wins, I hope that that is what's actually just and fair. And if he is unable to win in either of these trials, I hope that it's what's just and what's fair. Because this is convoluted, y'all. This is very convoluted. Alright, y'all. So, let's take a break. Let's look at some other content here. And y'all don't be a stranger. Y'all come back and see me now. And I'll talk at you later. Bye, y'all.